Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching yet another episode of Lima Shenanigans of 1977. It's Thursday night, and you know what that means. It's time for your TNA Event Center Wrestling Report. And now here's the man to give you that report, Mr. Eric M. Lima.
Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977, episode number 1625 in the for the show. You also want to know what my see all that the opening up a freaking jar of peanut butter. Unbelievable, right? But I'll be fine. I'm just gonna let it breathe for a while since I'm not working. So I think whenever I'm working, I'm trying to protect it. You know, because when we do housekeeping, we have a lot of cleaning chemicals that we need to deal with. So I want to make sure that I protect my finger. But right now, I did wash it. I did wash it. I'm going to let it breathe for a bit. So, since I'm not going to use it except for typing, if I don't overuse it as much, I'll be all right. So, today's Friday, August 23rd, 2024, 1:41 p.m. And we're almost at the end of August. And, you know, we got one more full week of August to go. And I know we have a big pay-per-view for AEW coming up, All In at Wembley Stadium. A lot of title matches later on. I will be for Rampage. For the final Rampage of for the final Rampage of for the final Rampage before All In, I will be making my picks and predictions. And I can do the videos separate because I got all day tomorrow to do a lot of videos and stuff and everything else in between. So that I can do, so I'm going to relax on that. And plus, you know, I just realized when I try to do videos late at night, and I don't know if you guys have been noticing, I made an attempt to do it, especially wrestling reviews, I kind of screw up on my words. That means my brain was getting tired. And I figured if I do it the next day, then if I do my videos the next day on the wrestling reports, I'll probably be a whole lot better at it. That way I'm bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and all that good stuff, and I'm ready to rock and roll. So we got to get going with this. So I am hoping, and I know if you watched Rant and Rave last night, as you know, Andrew Hawking is no longer a member of the Rant and Rave crew, so to speak. He'll be a substitute host from time to time, but however, as far as permanent co-host is concerned, we're done with that. So, but my best wishes to Mr. Hawking in his future endeavors. I know he's been struggling a lot and everything else, and I figured we give him some time to straighten his life out too. And it isn't easy letting go. You know, Andrew is an entertaining dude and a fun guy and really a nice guy with a good heart, but sometimes you got to have some kind of chutzpah, so to speak, of not chutzpah. That's not the word I'm looking for. It's some kind of great skill when it comes to talking, communication, and all that. So I think it takes more than just saying I agree with what he says, or I'm with him. The same thing as his answer. You gotta be better with that. So yeah, we talked a little bit about AEW All In. I talked about Su Yung, former TNA knockout. I don't know when she's going to return to TNA, but right now she suffered an injury to the point where she has to get some rest, stay at home, recuperate, unfortunately. And, she has a son to take care of. And with her situation with her husband, with Swan, it's really, really difficult. And I'm sure... I know they're falling hard times. There's a GoFundMe made by Faye Jackson, of course, one of her good friends, and it's good. It's good to see that people are reaching out and trying to help. If you can't donate, just share it. Let the people know. Let the good people know and everything else, and hopefully they'll help out. Yeah, a little itchy. All right, let's talk about what happened last night on TNA. We have two X Division qualifier matches. Kushida against Hammerstone and Frankie Kazarian in a triple threat match. And and there's and this was a heck of a matchup. And Hammerstone, of all people, won the matchup. So Hammerstone will be going to the Ultimate X matchup for the X Division title at Emergence. Meanwhile, G. Miller interviewed Eric Young, and Eric Young was talking, and Steve Macklin interrupts him. Looks like those two are going to be colliding down the road. So Mike Santana addressed the system after they jumped him last week, and he was not in a very good mood about it. So a little bit more. So a little bit more to add for the system. Speaking of the system, Alicia Edwards, one half of the Militia with Masha Slamovich, the TNA Knockouts champion, went up against Rosemary, and Masha Slamovich got involved in the matchup. Spitfire, that would be the team of Jody Threatened, Danny Luna was helping out Rosemary by taking Masha Slamovich down and distracting Alicia Edwards. Rosemary picks up the victory over the TNA Knockouts champion. Meanwhile, the personal concierge, George Iceman, and Aspen Elegance challenges Grace to a title match, which is matched by Elegance. We don't know what that is. Meanwhile, a 6-person tag match, PCO and Rhino, PCO, the digital media champion, and the Canadian International Heavyweight champion, teaming up with Rhino and Zaya Brookside against... Now, here's the deal. Steph DeLander had to be on the opposite side of the team. But Matt Cardona, he was supposed to be in that matchup, but he's not medically cleared to compete. But I suspect that he does not want to face PCO in a matchup. Of course, you ruined the man's wedding and honeymoon. And you're afraid. You take your punishment like a man, Matt Cardona. You're a weenie. You call yourself the indie god, yet you're a total L7 weenie. You are a weenie, dude. You are a weenie. Matt Cardona is a weenie. He's afraid of PCO after what he did to his wedding and honeymoon, I might add. And you know what? I don't know why Steph DeLander wants to hang out with you. She don't hang out with weenies. She hang out with real men. PCO, the man. Let me tell you. I like PCO, all right? You disrespect PCO, you're going to get your butt kicked. So, he sends out the team of Khan and Madman Fulton to team up with Steph DeLander. But Steph DeLander did not want anything to do with that team giving PCO, Rhino, and Zaya the victory, and she sided with PCO. I'm telling you something right now. Matt Cardona, you being a weenie had cost your team the match. So remember that. You being a weenie cost your team the match. You know what? Madman Fulton and Khan should make a great team. In fact, if they can get a big man team tone, those two gentlemen right there should be a tag team in TNA. My personal opinion on that. Nick Nemeth and Josh Alexander had a promo. Both men were working out, trying to get ready for their title match in Emergence. This is going to be a heck of a match between two hard-working men who have worked very, very hard to be world champions. Josh Alexander's been there. Now Nick Nemeth is the champ. Jordynne Grace responds to Ask by Elegance with that matchup, with that match by Elegance, and Jordynne Grace doesn't care. She accepts the challenge. So, good luck, Ask by Elegance. So, another X Division qualifier, Ultimate X qualifier matchup, featuring 3 guys we have not seen in quite a while in TNA. The Laredo Kid, Jay Vidal, and Bhupinder Gujar, and the Laredo Kid ended up winning the matchup, which completes the Ultimate X. And also, Chase U's Riley Osborne will try to bring some more gold to Chase U as he tries to go for the X Division title. Very interesting. First Class confronts Daniel Roberts, the referee, about, not being part of the Ultimate X qualifier. Wham. Speedball Mountain did confront First Class, and Rich Swann does most of the complaining, and Mike Bailey goes, hey, you want a shot? I'll give you a shot at the X Division title. He goes, fine, next week. So, Speedball Mike Bailey, I respect this guy. He always is a fighting champion. He's a really cool dude, fast in the martial arts. I want to see Speedball Mike Bailey in the WWE, in NXT. I want to see Speedball Mike Bailey for NXT. I want to see how he does against guys like Javon Evans. I want to see that matchup. Javon Evans versus Speedball Mike Bailey. Sign me up for that matchup, man. Let me tell you. And speaking of NXT, Charlie Dempsey, who is now a two-time Heritage Cup champion. This matchup was taped before he won the Heritage Cup title against Jonathan Gresham. And Jonathan Gresham ended up winning the matchup, but then Charlie Dempsey decided to become a sore loser, and he retreats after they fight. You know what? Gresham's victory over Dempsey. I like to see Jonathan Gresham now in NXT challenge Dempsey for the Heritage Cup Championship. If I were Ava, I'd be looking into that. So we'll see what happens there. Main event: the Hardys back together, going up against Moose and JDC, Johnny Dango Curtis of the system, and the Hardys ended up winning the matchup. And Moose and JDC said, we don't like that. They beat up on the Hardys, and then Mike Santana got involved, Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers got involved, and the number one contender to the NXT title, Joe Hendry, got involved to even things up, and Joe Hendry decided to address the system after that whole brawl. So, could we see an 8-man tag team matchup between the Hardys, Mike Santana, and Joe Hendry versus the Moose against the system? Let's make an elimination match at Emergence. See what Santino Marella has to say about all that. This is going to be a very interesting. Like I said, the partnership between TNA and NXT. This is going to be fun because with Jonathan Gresham's victory over Charlie Dempsey, now that could put him in line for an NXT Heritage Cup Championship. I can see that I can see that match happening in NXT. I'd love to see. In fact, No Mercy. Let's sign that matchup. Charlie Dempsey defends the Heritage Cup title against Jonathan Gresham. I like to see that matchup. See how Gresham works in British rounds rules. That'll be an interesting concept for John Gresham. He's probably wrestled about every single type of match there is. But British rounds rules match, maybe? Who knows? We'll see what happens there. I'm really excited about it. I mean, seriously, this is going to be great. The NXT TNA partnership is working well. You got Riley Osborne going for the Ultimate X qualifier, and you got Joe Hendry challenging Ethan Page for the NXT title at No Mercy. This is going to be a lot of fun. And I can't wait. And, Roxanne Perez has been running him out. Everybody's running out of competition. You got Julia and Stephanie Vaquer on their way, and Delta's on her way too. So you got 3 young ladies from all over the world, all over the globe, going to come into NXT to challenge her. But then you forgot, you got TNA. Jordan Grace was the beginning. I always see Alicia Edwards challenge Roxanne Perez. I want to see that matchup. How about Rosemary versus Roxanne? Rosemary versus Wendy Chu. We'll see what happens after No Mercy. If Wendy Chu wins the North American title, Wendy Chu versus Rosemary. That'll be interesting. And with Su Yung out, if Su Yung wasn't injured, I would like to see her back on TNA or have her go to NXT to challenge Wendy Chu. That would be a great match too. But unfortunately, with Su Yung hurt, that's how it is right now. Let's see, who else do I? Like I said. Lots of possibilities with the partnership with TNA and NXT. I'm looking forward to a lot of things, okay? But we got AEW tonight also. We got SmackDown, NXT Level Up as we're heading towards Bash in Berlin. And now next is the game of strategy, luck, knowledge, and daring. Bullseye. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans in 1977. Guys, have a wonderful day. And until that next episode comes rolling around, Mr. Announcer, take us home and tell the people to remember what happened here today. I'll see you.
That is all for today's episode. This is your announcer speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big Beefy E, doing for Bob Saget Productions, and in association with a Raven Bofa Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching today's episode. Tune in next time for another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. Goodbye for now.